MediaChannel.org. MediaChannel.org. Surge, 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 surge. What does it mean? Danny Schechter, your news dissector, here with that question. All we've talked about so far is numbers. 21,000 American troops being sent to Baghdad. But nobody's asking this question. What is this surge really about? What are they actually going to be doing in Iraq? What's their plan?
Listen, this entire supposedly new way forward is a complete farce. And the corporate media knows it, and they're not doing a good job of telling the American people what's really going on in Iraq and what little chance the supposed new way forward has of succeeding. The president claims that he has the backing of U.S. military leaders. The facts say otherwise. Washington Post recently published an article saying that the entire Joint Chiefs of Staff, the leaders at the Pentagon, were unanimous in saying that escalation of U.S. troops in Iraq would not help the situation. General Abizaid, who was the chief of Central Command up until recently in Iraq, testified before Congress saying that he himself and every single general that he talked to in Iraq did not support escalation of troops. What did he get for his candor with the president? He was fired, of course. That's what the president does when people give him information that he simply doesn't want to hear. As far as the actual strategy for these troops on the ground, it's hard to see how this strategy is actually going to make any major difference in the war in Iraq.
Well, the New York Times laid it out for us on Sunday in this incredible spread, and how they titled it is 4 Strategies for Saving Baghdad, okay? Then they lay out what each of the strategies is. And each one of them is guaranteed to destroy Baghdad, to ensure that there's more sectarian strife, more insurgency, more dead Americans. But this is not mentioned. 1, establish security stations between the Iraqis and the Americans. All we know, though, is that the Iraqis are not very good at fighting, and the Americans have to be sent in to save their asses. So it's unlikely to work. Next, what they call isolation. And what does that consist of? It consists of apartheid. That's right, building a wall around certain neighborhoods, not letting anybody in or out. And the New York Times says this, and I love it. While this strategy may dampen the violence, it also exacerbates already terrible living conditions, which will worsen if the government fails to provide adequate services, which it is failing to provide. So that's a guarantee. So final strategy, dealing with Shiite strongholds. Notice, the Shiite is the enemy now. It used to be the Sunni. And what are they going to do? Basically wipe them out to the degree that they can. When an army goes after guerrillas or, quote, insurgents, what happens? Civilians die. Always have, always will. So this is a prescription not for saving Baghdad, but for making the war in Iraq worse than it is. But everybody's focusing on the numbers. Nobody's focusing on the strategy and the plan. And the media is not doing a very good job of telling us what it's really all about. It's not, Mr. New York Times, a strategy for saving Baghdad. MediaChannel.org. MediaChannel.org.